You are now listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast, a weekly review of Monday Night Raw and other wrestling-related topics. And here's your hosts, Peter Day and Jake Grandi.
All right, the boot 'em up to the trunk.
What's up, what's up?
Hey, now, what's going on? This is Peter and
Jake.
And you're listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast. Two dudes who like wrestling and like talking about it. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Last week, Jake did the opening. It sucked.
What?
So we're never going to have him do the intro ever again.
I don't.
You got to lavish it in. You got to lather it up, man.
We haven't discussed this. I didn't think we,
No, I put you on the spot. Like, it's like, hey, I like you do the intro. Hey, I'm Jake. This is Peter. This is the Peter Jake Talk Wrestling. So, blah, 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 blah. I was like, dude, just go easy. You gotta be the host. You gotta, what's the word? You gotta entertain them a little bit with the opening spot. I mean, it's like having sex. You gotta play with it a little bit. You don't just take your pants off and go to work.
I hear you. Well, I mean, maybe I'll work on it, Maybe I'm just like, the guys in NXT,
No, you're never opening ever again.
Well, that's fine, man. That's fine.
No opening. No, you're.
I don't want to open it.
You're not ready. No, not even a WrestleMania one. No, you're not ready for opening up. So, how was your week, bro?
It was good. Busy, as always, but can't complain. Kind of nice weather for it being February and all.
Ain't it though?
Yeah.
That fucking groundhog saw its shadow though.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Does that mean?
It means 6 more weeks of cold weather. If you believe that kind of stuff. It's like my Walter, my friend Walter, responded on my Facebook about that. He's like, oh, if you believe in that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, oh, what am I, an idiot? I watch wrestling.
Yeah.
See, so let me play with it, fool.
Yeah.
Let me play with the idea.
I'm entertained by bullshit.
Yeah, So do you think the tide has gone over with the whole Rumble?
Yeah, I think they tried to fool themselves into thinking it was just the Philly crowd, and then over the response, over the week, leading up to this Raw, that they just kind of decided to pull the plug and go with Bryan. And I think now we're switching over to where John Cena used to be starting out at 0, like even earlier this year. Whenever they wanted to start back at 0, they went with Cena. But now, past 2 Manias, going back to 0 has been Bryan. So that's kind of cool.
I don't know if they actually pulled the plug on this as much as, look, it's one thing for them to say, hey, we're going to tuck our tail between our legs and go with what the fans want. But I believe they did that this is all part of the storyline.
Well, Michael Cole kind of gave it away at the end.
What's that?
At the end, we'll get to it, but he kind of slipped up, or he caught himself right before he was about to slip up.
Go ahead and say it. We'll get back to it.
Oh, in the main event, he's just like, whenever Bryan pins Rollins, he's like, Daniel Bryan is going to, and he Fastlane, and he kind of said Fastlane real quick, and then there was a big pause, and then JBL was like, yeah, Fastlane, Bryan's going to Fastlane, so it was kind of like, no one's you think he was saying it like Daniel Bryan is going to, like the flow of it sounded like he was about to say going to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then he caught himself and was like, Fastlane.
I think that was all. I think that was all in place. I think there's so many, as a sleuth at times. One of my sleuths right now is the idea of Brock Lesnar's rib and how they keep coming. I don't know if you listen to me and Headliner Bob. What up, Nathan? But that was something that I sort of picked up, that they kept readdressing the idea of Brock Lesnar's broken rib. Now, as long as they talk about that, there's no way in hell Daniel Bryan is going to WrestleMania, because the one thing that can for us to believe, out of all the things of what we see a Brock Lesnar, how the hell can Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar? Mm-hmm. Spear on a broken rib. Now that broken rib's not going to be still broken, by WrestleMania, but it's going to be fractured. You know,
But don't you
he's
think-
recovering. He's recovering from it. So as long as they still play up on this, because I think they mentioned it like 6 times Monday.
Well, then why not have Rollins and Reigns going into Fastlane? Why would you have the two faces?
Because this is money. You still have to remember, like, Daniel Bryan makes money. The controversy that they're playing around, how they're keeping this guy down, is gold.
Yeah.
It is gold. Like, why would you ever give this guy... why would you ever put this guy on top knowing that the fans are never going to not support him? And people are showing up wanting and wanting and wanting and wanting. Going back home, coming back to more. Like, you know, like...
Well, to create new fans.
And then yes, that too, because like here's the thing, it's almost like that one girl that you ask out every day.
Yeah.
And every day, you know, y'all are friends, and you have this idea that she likes you and that you possibly have a chance, but the friend line is there.
Yeah.
Do you stop hanging out with her because she only wants to be a friend? No. You gotta stick around because maybe, just maybe, that's going to be the opportunity where she's going to probably kiss me or something. And I think that's the thing with Daniel Bryan. Like, we will keep coming back to that storyline of him being held down, waiting for that payoff so badly. Is it going to be this day? Is it going to be like 10 months from now? Is it going to be next week? We want to see it happen. He's money. His money is being held down. And as long as that's still a hot story, they're going to just bank on it. I mean, I think it's going to hit critical mass at some point, but the kid was on top.
Yeah.
And see yourself as Vince McMahon, see yourself as Kevin Dunn, see yourself as Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, see yourself as the Brawler or Pat Patterson. We're not going to trust. It's one thing to catch a hernia. A hernia is nothing.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to trust someone who will never be 100% ever again. Ever.
You think Bryan will never be 100% ever again?
Was Stone Cold ever 100% ever again?
No, but they still used him a lot.
They did. Very much like Bryan.
Yeah, and
Now,
I think with Bryan never being 100% again, I think they need to make the star now.
But man, dude, I can't put all my eggs in a Daniel Bryan basket to carry a company. Even if he was someone who looked like the part, you know? What if he was, if we were to sort of like take Daniel Bryan and mold him into Roman Reigns? Height, complexion, good looks.
He'd be...
And he had that same injury, that's just too much. That's too much of a high risk, man. To say, hey, we know you almost was paralyzed. We're still going to make you the face of the company. No, we're not going to do that. Because if something goes wrong, we're left empty-handed. And we've invested so much into building you up that we've neglected. We don't have a plan B ready to go.
Yeah, I see that.
And I'm just saying, in general, athletes, you know, like Drew Bledsoe, when he got his ass rocked, right? Mm-hmm. And Tom Brady, they didn't know Tom Brady. No one knew Tom Brady was going to be as good as he was. But they found out over time that he was actually a good quarterback. They were lucky to have someone to come in and step up and take the bull by the horns. But they gave Drew Bledsoe $100 million.
Yeah. So they couldn't afford. Well, they benched him eventually, right?
Yeah, they benched him eventually. I mean, Brady was just too good.
Yeah.
He ended up being too good. But just what if Brady wasn't there? You know? Because they gave this guy $100 million, so their cap space is fucking rendered helpless. So they can't even bring in anybody even relatively affordable.
Yeah.
To come in and do the job. And the same with Daniel Bryan. If you don't prepare Roman Reigns, they're going to keep Bryan around. They're going to keep him at the top.
Well, they can prepare Roman Reigns, but just not this Mania. I think the crowd booed like crazy last year. The crowd booed like crazy for Rumble, and just like last year when they booed like crazy for Batista, they changed it up. And I think the storyline between Bryan and Brock is way better than Bryan and Reigns.
Obviously it is.
Because it plays off last year's Mania. It's like the two biggest names of last year's Mania now competing.
But just breaking kayfabe, I think the health issue, as an investor, as an owner, CEO, or chairman, it's kind of hard for me to look at a guy who could potentially be hurt again. And we've invested all this stock into him, and then for him to basically not be around, and now we're scrambling for answers. Because that's what happened when he got hurt the first time. When he had to go into surgery, dude, you could see the scramble for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Because they invested in this guy. They was like, okay, you're the mountaintop. Here's the belt. Here we go. Daniel Bryan story.
Yeah.
Boom. Nowhere. And, oh my God, we should have been more prepared. They're prepared this time. So if Roman Reigns, dude, Bryan, he's a young buck. He ain't going nowhere. You know? And he has the talent. He has it. He ain't going nowhere. Not so much Roman Reigns. And maybe he could be a wash. Maybe he's not going to be the guy. But why not? Because why not give him the ball? He looks the part.
Because he's not he's not compelling in the ring. That's what people mean by not ready. It's like when they watch him, he's not as entertaining, as fluid, as creative as Daniel Bryan is, or I would say an average wrestler.
Well, again, this is sports entertainment. You know, you got to remind yourself that.
Yeah, that's true.
Lucha Underground, yes, I understand.
Yeah, for sure.
NXT, I can understand. ROH, I can understand. But the WWE and the Raw roster, the SmackDown roster are completely different animals to the rest of the wrestling world. And it is about looks. It is about your package and what they can mold into you.
For sure.
And Roman Reigns is that guy. Why not? I'm just saying. Why not give him the ball? I can feel that he's not ready. I remember when they first let him in as a solo guy. You can go back fucking months of the podcast of me. I guess when I first started, I was like, just something about the guy that lacks. You know, me just talking about that.
Yeah.
I still feel that way, but like, he's much better than he was, say, when I first started noticing that he needed a little bit of change. I think the WWE Magic Wand is doing a good job of creating this Roman Reigns character, and what's the word? What's the last thing I want to say? And he's 100%.
Well,
he's 100% healthy.
Well, no, he did just get hurt too.
No, I mean that. Hernia. I mean,
hernia.
I
forgot his injury.
Yeah,
let's dive in. Like it started out with the like we've already said before. The Authority came out. We'll just we kind of already hinted at what was going on.
What the fuck? Wait. This is Denver, right?
Oh, I'm not sure where they are.
Yep. This is Raw
in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So the Authority came out, and then they.
Well, Triple H starts it off.
Yeah, Triple H and Stephanie both come out, and they pretty much announced that, they kind of brag about the Patriots winning, whatever, just get some heat with, the Peyton Manning crowd or whatever. And then they pretty much announced that Sting, they call out Sting and Fastlane. There's going to be a face-to-face confrontation. Going by with what you said.
But not to cut you off, I mean, I think there's some valid points before he gets to The Rock, it's some things that he actually addresses.
You mean Sting?
No, not Sting. I'm talking about this is the first Raw since Rumble.
For sure.
And there's a lot of things that have been lingering that canceling the WWE Network. He says, and the number one trend, after the Super Bowl, canceled the NFL Network. He's letting the people know that he's actually been paying attention to the social media and the crowd reaction to the Royal Rumble. And that thing. And I thought that was pretty key because him as Triple H, again, he's a heat rocket. And I think he's just a heat magnet. And, well, he wants to be a heat magnet. And with the social media things, he hates it. Like, he's been out there before and addressed the social media complaints about the product. And He should not talk about it. I think Metz hates when he brings it up, but I think he just can't help himself.
I think at this point, when the Rumble was received the way it was, with the booing of the crowd, so anyone who's watching, little kids hear the boos, you know, like.
And I don't think they care. I think they're just like, why are you booing this guy? Like, he's awesome.
I don't know. I don't know any little kids, man. But
well, I hear when he walks through, that pop he get, he just sends the crowd into a.
Normally he is over, but like, I think there was just something that you had to at least hint on it enough to where the smart fans like could get a chuckle.
It's yes, or feel involved.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing.
I think this entire first segment was just saying like, guys, we got you. Just hang with us. Watch Mania. It's gonna all work out.
I think also, I think that too. But I think they're having fun. I think they're going, and at the same time, we kind of got you by the puppet strings as well.
Yeah. You're hooked.
Yeah. So we'll fascinate you, but we're still gonna do what we want.
Yeah.
Your business, it was like Obama. Maybe you don't want me to be your president, but I am your president. You know, so what was it? What did he say?
I'm not sure.
I like it was like when he won the first presidency.
I just know when people were booing him. That's all I saw.
Yeah,
he said that at the first.
No. He said maybe you don't want me to be your president, but I'm your president now. Like, you know, and I will be everyone's president. You know, and that's the thing with this. You know, maybe you don't like it, but we are what you love. So we'll play to you, but we're still going to do what we want. And I think that comes off really strong, along with the SmackDown's opening and along with this one. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, I'm paying attention, and fuck you, but at the same time, we happy by the balls.
Well, what did you say? You said they added something about The Rock.
One of the things was how were they going to this big announcement? How they were going to go about this big announcement? Was it the fact that Curtis Angle didn't get in to the Royal Rumble, and there was going to be a disqualification of the actual match over Curtis Axel over like a little petty rule?
Yeah.
Is it because of The Rock's involvement? Like, how were they going to devoid the Royal Rumble win?
And they said The Rock's involvement. And
they did say The Rock's involvement, but they weren't going to null and void that Rumble win.
Yeah, they were just kind of pissed, pretty much.
They were playing on the whole Patriots legitimacy thing. Like, well, are you gonna just accept this Royal Rumble win as an asterisk?
Yeah.
You know, and they playing into the psyche. Basically, if we move through it, you know, like, playing into the psyche of Roman Reigns and him being a young, brash, competitive fighter, and they also are trying to present him of having a fighting spirit. To say, you know what, I will agree to doing what, but we'll get to that.
Like pretty much basic authority promo. They announced that Sting's going to be at Fastlane, which is, you know, kind of cool, but I wish it was kind of a match, not necessarily at Fastlane, but I guess we'll see what happens there. That's kind of like the first time they announced like a segment. That's like kind of like
about the Sting thing.
Yeah, the Raw pay-per-views like we've been talking about. That's kind of like a big Raw segment on a pay-per-view. So I guess we'll see how that works out. It might be bad, but I'm gonna just wait and see the first one before I decide. And then
see the first what?
The first kind of big segment that's on a pay-per-view like this.
Okay.
Yeah, with like a confrontation like this, like a contract signing of sorts or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Because they're not saying there's a contract signing. You're talking about the Sting thing, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying like it's like, you know, two wrestlers squaring off without wrestling. Like their face off, contract signing, weigh-in, whatever you can create to get them to talk to each other, you know. Mm-hmm. And then Roman, of course, doesn't like his name, being dragged through the mud. He comes out, a big pop, a lot bigger than Philly. And then he's kind of just running down, you know, reasons why it was legitimate.
But his performance in his promo is basically scaled down to him just being a tough guy.
Good, because when they started adding all this stuff about Jack and the Beanstalk and all that stuff, It got real convoluted, real weak. And he was tripping over his lines. So everything bad in the promo happened when he started doing that. So if they kind of do like what they do with Brock and like they do with Ryback, where guys who are physically impressive but need a little work on the mic, less is more. Like you stand there, look impressive, and say they're gonna kick your ass.
But the thing about Roman is that it was like a flip flop of his character. Yeah. He presented himself as a sort of a
guy out there.
Speak less. I'm basically a Marshawn Lynch sort of figure. Like, I'm all about that action. I don't have to say things to prove that I'm someone. So a lot of Roman Reigns' dialogue was very, very minimal. And then they said, all of a sudden, they go, oh yeah, this guy talks. This guy jokes around and spikes fucking coffee. And then it's just like telling stories about Jack and the Beanstalk and doing Looney Tune drops. And it's like, well... And then it's like, okay, now he's a tough guy again, and he doesn't say a lot.
I like it better this way. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, I mean, but if he would have never started as this tough guy thing, I think we wouldn't be as vocal about him
being so. Yeah, but now I guess
animated.
I think it's going to get more serious as Mania goes on. He's got like credentials under his belt now. He won Rumble, you know.
And that stare down between him and Triple H, which I thought was pretty entertaining.
Yeah. And then Bryan comes out. He wants the title shot. He said, he never lost the belt. When Triple H kind of disputes that a little bit. And then after that, of course, Seth Rollins comes out. And
a commercial break starts.
Yeah.
And it's only like 15 minutes in, right?
Yeah.
And normally,
normally it's after the first segment.
That first segment goes uninterrupted for like 28 minutes normally.
Yeah.
27 minutes. And then, but I think because of the announcement, the fact that they've shrouded this entire fucking episode around the announcement, I think they pulled a Super Bowl on us because a lot of eyes were going to be on this segment. I mean, I guess when they do the numbers and see how much ratings it is, if it's exponentially higher, then you know what? You throw an ad in that motherfucker. He doesn't even get to the announcement yet by the time Rollins comes out and there's a commercial break. Let's sell some stuff because we have all these eyes here.
Yeah, and Rollins comes out and kind of just like starts like running down Reigns. He actually says that he's in the deep end now where the big boys play. So I guess the deep end is WCW. But
well, he said the deep end in reference to his he was
like he's playing with the kids. Yeah.
No. I think it was a throwback to his interview on Monday's Raw last week. The interview he did. He said, "I do better." So my dad threw me into the deep end.
Oh, yeah, I guess I missed.
Yeah, and I think he was sort of, oh, you're in the deep end now, huh?
Yeah.
Like he was playing off his interview.
I can see that. That's kind of
But like I always thought that was pretty funny.
It's funny because they keep mentioning Sika like his dad, and if you're like the Wild Samoans were these crazy guys with their tongues out all the time, so it's hard to like picture like him being like a father figure.
But the story even tells about his father throwing him into the deep end. Yeah. It's kind of cartoony. I can just see I can see him like just the young Roman Reigns who's just like Sasuke. He's like this.
Grabs him by his skull.
Yeah. It's like throws him with one arm, and like it's just like that's the image I have in my mind. As soon as he told that story, and ever since then, that's just been like this crazy image that I have of that situation of him, just like his dad, like being like this crazy motherfucker, and like his own ways of making Roman Reigns into a man. It's like something from a comic strip to comic book.
And then, long story short, Triple H announces that the main event tonight is going to be Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan. And the winner of that wrestles Roman Reigns for at Fastlane.
And Roman's had to agree to it.
Yeah, and Roman kind of got egged on. Like they kind of like showed their like veteran skills here. Like kind of manipulated him a little bit to like getting him hyped up for putting pride involved, and then he kind of just admitted that that he could do that. Kind of like what they did with John Cena like a month or two ago with getting the authority like. No, I guess they like had Edge involved. Never mind.
Well, it was kind of shotgun for Cena. It's like, well, bring them back or we basically kill this guy.
Yeah.
He was kind of he was held captive.
Where this was just
he wasn't held captive.
Yeah, it was showed like it kind of it was. I mean, it did a good job of showing Triple H and Stephanie's strength and kind of showing like not a weakness in Roman Reigns, but
this is the beginning of showing his fighting spirit.
Yeah.
The fact that he didn't have to do it. And this is the irony of the announcement, that there was the announcement. It was never an announcement.
Yeah.
It was a proposal. The proposal, or the, what did I write? Well, yeah, I think I typed, it was like more of the proposal than the announcement. And I'm like, dude, we've been had. And then even worse than that, I guess we'll move forward. But like, I guess, he agrees that it's Bryan versus Rollins, and face Reigns at Fastlane for the WrestleMania spot.
But then, and he also
go ahead.
Triple H. Oh, I was just gonna move.
Another thing is that I understand they want to build the fighting spirit part of Roman Reigns. I understand that this storyline is sort of shrouded in, say, the internet versus WWE, giving people what they want, kind of a thing. But this is the second fucking year straight that the Royal Rumble meant nothing. Yeah. Whatever, Royal Rumble. Batista wins? Oh, you don't get your singles match. It's a 3-way with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Oh, Roman Reigns, you win?
That's because they...
Oh, we gotta actually have your WrestleMania spot as a stipulation. Even if Reigns wins at Fastlane, his Rumble win is a stip now. And it's silly. It's fucking silly. Like, so next year, who wins, whoever, so basically how they can promote the Royal Rumble now is like, whoever wins the Royal Rumble might win a spot.
No, they just gotta book the Rumble properly, understand that they're in Philadelphia, understand that they're where they're at, and book something that people want to see. Like,
if they're really lucky.
Yeah.
If they win the Royal Rumble, there's a chance.
Well, I mean, they had the elimination.
Regardless of whatever factors lie, the bottom line is this: you win the Royal Rumble, it's not 100% chance for the past 2 years that you will get a singles match. At WrestleMania headline WrestleMania in a singles match. It's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's kind of, I mean, week-to-week booking does this kind of stuff, and then
no. The past 2 years, week-to-week booking.
Well, yeah, they've been. I'm saying, they've been doing week-to-week booking for the past like 3 or 4 years, and this is what. Yeah, that's what.
Out of all, you know what? I would even take a compromised WrestleMania. I would take a compromised WrestleMania because you know why? The next day after WrestleMania rocks. You can get a lot done in the next day of the WrestleMania, right? But don't fuck with the Rumble.
Well,
don't fuck with the Rumble. You could have Survivor Series. You could take away Elimination Chamber. Hell, you could do whatever you want to SummerSlam. You can do whatever you want. The Rumble, the Royal Rumble, 30 guys wanting that WrestleMania spot, and it's this thing. It's awesome. You don't compromise that.
Just put it on the right guy. And despite
stick to your guns.
We decide who the right guy is. The fans decide the right guy. Don't let them bully you. Boo everybody.
That's their business. You can't just walk up in Pepsi and be like, yo, make some Kool-Aid.
That's why wrestling's awesome. That's why wrestling is awesome. And then
it's people like you. It's people like you that hold us back as a country.
I don't know. I don't.
We can be progressive in the U.S., but it's people like you that think that you can say and do whatever you want, and everyone has to do what you say because what you do is right.
I don't say me, but I think if the whole arena's booing, you got to call an audible.
You know what? Hey, Omaha, right? But you know what? It's one thing to be Peyton Manning. There's nothing to be Tom Brady. And you know what happened with Tom Brady? He just won himself another championship. And you know what? You know what all those Omahas did?
And Roman Reigns is neither one of those
You know what all those Omahas did for Peyton Manning?
Roman Reigns is
It got him a nice view of the fucking Super Bowl from his couch.
I don't understand what that has to do with.
You said call it audible.
Yeah, there's other audibles. I didn't know that. I don't know what you're talking about really, but like
Omaha, like that's the
yeah, but audibles have been before Peyton Manning, and
I'm just saying though.
And
like
I'm saying like
you stick to your guns. You go the way you're supposed to go. That you see your company.
You go the way you're supposed to go, which is Brian, which was not.
No, that's what you want.
No, that's what
everybody want.
That's what everybody wants.
Did I want it? No. You think I'm the only person that didn't want that?
You're one of the minority.
Minority?
Most people want Daniel Bryan to win.
Most marks. Actually, the marks.
Kids too.
Kids
too. Did you see the last year's WrestleMania? The entire arena, kids and everything, were cheering like crazy. His T-shirt numbers, which is why John Cena is the biggest guy, is just up there with John Cena. And marks. A lot of those smart marks don't buy WB shirts. They're all buying Young Buck shirts. It's too uncool to buy the Bryan shirt now. So those shirts are being sold by people that aren't as smart as the traditional Daniel Bryan fan is. And moving on, you can definitely see. They
set the match. The match.
Big Show versus Roman was the first match.
Again.
Superman punch, Rollins distraction, choke slam by Big Show wins. It was a very quick match. And that's, I don't know, it was kind of your basic match. Good way to kick off the show, I would say. Just, but nothing really special.
It puts it into that. It definitely puts it into that to that feud.
Of Roman and Show?
Yes, it puts it. It puts a fucking coffin.
Because now he's pissed at Rollins.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. And you keep Show looking strong, which is something you. Obviously, you want Roman to win the feud, but you also want Show to not lose. You don't want him to look weak because he is the giant that you're trying to hold up.
And then this next segment, which is like a bad attempt at a TNA.
Oh, with Curtis Axel?
No. Steph and Triple H.
They just bumped the podcast real in your face, kind of.
No, well, I don't even think the podcast in this segment was as important as them basically like, because you know TNA, right? And how they do these sort of backstage things where like they're backstage and they're talking about like behind the scenes stuff of them manipulating certain situations, and that the camera's kind of hidden. Yeah. You know, but for some reason in the WWE they do it different. They'll just do a straight up sort of monologue with the camera right in front of them as they're talking about how talk about things that we should not even be hearing. Right? So they're backstage talking, gloating about how they screwed Reigns and how they weren't even contractually obligated to strip him of the title. And how, oh man, we really got him. We really touched his nerve and made him do something that we're contractually not, we can't do it. And how they manipulated it. No, we're so good, high fives. It's like, I'm not supposed to get that as a fan. I'm not supposed to hear that. And if I do hear it, it's because some rogue cameraman decides to go out and sort of film this discussion of how they were able to convince Roman Reigns, who didn't have to do it, give up his opportunity to go to definitely be the main event at WrestleMania. It really pissed me off, actually. Because what are we, idiots? Are we stupid as WE fans? Are we that dumb that they have to blatantly in our face
tell you
are we that slow? We obviously got it, but then it's just like we sure did get Reigns, and they were really like backhanded about it, and I just go like, that's what we are officially stupid.
I mean, I don't know, man. I was just tired of seeing the Authority at that point. I can't believe they cut to him right. They couldn't help themselves but go right back to him. You
listen to Court Bauer and stuff, right? You listen to that.
Yeah, I listen to Bauer and Pollock every now and then.
What's the one you listen to the most?
I would say I listen to Review of Raw with.
They're going to talk about this very thing I'm complaining about. They're going to be pissed. About that one segment.
I hear you. But then next, Curtis Axel comes out, which is kind of cool that they kind of hint at it. He cuts the promo about how he's never really thrown out, and then Dean just comes out, throws him out. He's just like, now you're eliminated.
That was an awesome promo. That Curtis Axel did. He came out. It looked. That's
the whole thing. Is Curtis Axel, the way they booked him, he'll never be a main eventer, but he acts exactly like, he wrestles, acts, cuts promos exactly like a main eventer. Like,
because he's pedigree, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know if you listened to me in Headliner 5. What up, Nate? That was one of the things we talked about in terms of, say, the whole idea of Bray Wyatt facing the Undertaker. It's like, well, do you trust Bray? It's like how you think a Bray Wyatt Undertaker match will go for a guy that's not as experienced, quote unquote, in Bray Wyatt, and handling and being a directorial match with the Undertaker. And I go to him, I answer, you have to trust his pedigree, right? And it's this. When you're talking about these second, third generation wrestlers, they have it in them. Yeah,
they understand. They picked up on little things subconsciously as children that like certain guys have to be that don't pick up on the concept at all.
And why do you think that Vince McMahon is going so hard at Roman Reigns? He is pedigree. He's raw. He's like a lump of raw talent. Pedigree's gonna come. It's gonna come. Okay, he's not ready, but it's gonna come. It's in his genetic makeup to be another one of those guys. And that's what I'm saying. You know, like Curtis Axel coming out and doing that. It's like, oh, that's no surprise. But you know what? He developed a little bit faster. And for him to come out like, no, fuck that, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and it looked believable that he was really mad. And it looked like there was going to be a moment for him to, like, really get out what he wanted to say and that something was going to be done about it, you know?
Sure.
But but then when Dean Ambrose come out, we know what that was going to be all
about. I thought they were going to set up a match, or maybe even like set up a match on like SmackDown or something. You know, set up.
You would believe that this was going to be a joke for some reason.
Yeah.
It ended up being one, but he didn't make it seem that way.
I didn't want it to be, and he did a good job.
He did a great job,
especially like when he. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Curtis Axel. I feel like he is.
And he got up on this thing and he pointed he pointed at the WrestleMania.
Yeah, I love that. Just like everyone else in the building was just like saw it as a joke, but not him.
Not him. He was dead.
He was going. It was going to be a 3-way.
He got up and he looked at everybody. He went, man. You know, this is like the third time we've had like something awesome like that happen from like a random wrestler in a while. Like the first one was like the redhead dude. What's his name?
Oh, Heath Slater.
Heath Slater, and he cut this super, like American. He comes out in an not Uncle Tom.
What did he say? He said,
he's like, I'm gonna kick your ass, bitch.
Yeah.
Something like this.
No, he said, no, ding, ding, bitch.
Yeah, ding, ding, bitch. Like, and, you know, he comes out and he cuts this really awesome promo, and he goes out. And it looks like he's about to really like do something really awesome. R-Truth did it just recently. He comes out, he does his whole rap, and he spits like a real great like babyface promo, and now you got Curtis Axel doing this. It all ends up becoming a joke.
Because you know they've been in the back the whole time. Like, man, why don't I get the mic? Why don't I get the mic? They're like, okay, here, go.
And Curtis Axel just did that. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Just did that and made him into a complete joke. But it was so believable that you actually thought there was a chance that something was going to come of it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Well, Ernie Ladd going into the Hall of Fame. Are you familiar?
No. Ernie Ladd's not going to the Hall of Fame. This was a rehash of Black History Month.
Oh, I thought. Well, I figured that
he's already a WWE Hall of Famer. He got inducted in the 90s. He was probably one of the first. He was in that first class, I think, first or second class.
That's cool. Oh, okay, that's good. I haven't watched it on the network. I did watch Ron Simmons beat Vader because they do have like some matches, like prominent matches of like Ron Simmons win the WCW title.
Hey! Let's not get past Dean Ambrose real quick.
Okay.
No, I looked down and I'm like, oh no, this is bad. This is really bad for Dean Ambrose. Because he's bitching about how he wants the IC belt.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's facing Barrett.
I'm like, no! I was going back and forth with someone on Twitter. He's like, so like or share if you agree that, or like favorite or retweet if you think that it's great that Dean Ambrose, and everyone's like, yeah, and I'm like, no, dude, that belt is like the plague. Like, keep him as far away. And I convinced the kid. I was like, whoever going back and forth on Twitter,
Yeah.
I said, stay. If anything, keep him as far away from that IC belt as possible.
Sure.
And he was like, well, I want to see him in a storyline. It's like, do you know who the Intercontinental champion is?
Bad news.
But like, no. But he was like, who? Like, he was like, I think it's Barrett.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're gonna think that it's Ambrose once he gets it. Like, keep him away from that belt. What is he gonna do? Everybody, we've had a whole slew of people who grabbed that IC belt over the past 5 years.
Yep.
Started with Cody Rhodes, who actually brought the fucker back. Brought the shot
with the white.
Yeah, he brought that fucker back. I'm gonna bring legitimacy to this belt, and he was actually doing a good job because he seemed that he really, really, really wanted it. They gave it to the goddamn Big Show, of all people.
Yeah, Ziggler had it, and
then he was made a fool of it.
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston was made a fool with it.
And didn't Bad News lose to
Curtis Axel was the goddamn IC belt champion.
Whatever. I mean, you're right. I remember thinking that when I watched it, but if you're given the task to get that match over as Dean Ambrose, he did do a good job of doing that, but you can't help in the back of your mind thinking like, oh, they're bringing him down, because he was main eventing. He main evented Hell in the Cell, he main evented... So.
I don't think the belt will bring him down. I think the belt will make him a joke.
Yeah.
Whoever has that belt becomes a joke. I mean, for it to be like put on Luke Harper and he would just carry it around backwards. He won the belt, like, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah.
I just go, and also Dolph Ziggler having it, being a former world champion, I just go like, if you got that belt, if you got that world champ, you got that big gold or that belt,
you don't want anything less.
Ever.
And then what did you think about the Ascension?
And the follow up,
Ernie Ladd.
Ernie Ladd is that they did this last year. They did the same bit last year. And somebody was like, isn't this the same one they did last year? Not all the black wrestlers. I'm like, look, I can't see this fucking package enough. Show this every week if you can. Because it's awesome. It needs to be known.
Anything, it's February, so Black History Month works. But time you can put over the history, that makes the current stuff seem more important.
Yes.
Because it seems like it's going down in history.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And for everything that guy did, my parents weren't really that big of sports fans, but they knew who Ernie Ladd was. And especially with his civil rights being a civil rights activist, that was somebody that my dad found as a hero, that he would talk about. Like he would talk about Malcolm X, or like he would talk about, not in the same breath, but just like, if he wanted to talk about that stuff, he would bring up Ernie Ladd. And I just go like, the significance of this guy can never get old. So if anyone's complaining and talking about like how, oh man, I can't believe they're showing this again, where are the other black wrestlers? Well, sorry, but this is great history. You forgot about it until it showed back up. Here's a reminder. Remember him from now on.
And then the Ascension pretty much just destroy the Dust Brothers. I really think that if they're trying to get the Ascension over, they got to at least tell JBL to shut the fuck up. He's a heel commentator. They're kind of pushing the heel vibe on these guys. So they at least, if he can help himself but say shitty things about the Ascension, then don't say anything at all. Let Booker T and Michael Cole cover their matches.
Yeah.
Because it just crutches. I'm not really too excited about him, but I definitely want to see you guys try to get him over. I don't want to hear, the heel commentator hate on the heel tag team.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was the thing, and I thought, which I thought was very ironic to the idea that you have Booker T, who's supposed to be he's color. That's funny. He's the other color commentator on the team. And he's standing up for the heel tag team against the heel. Yeah. The other heel.
Because he's probably sitting back like, someone's got to do this, and we can't just let.
That shouldn't be happening, though.
Yeah.
This is like a fucking team. This is like an announced team no-no. Like, this is like the bottom of the barrel of no-nos, or the top of the totem pole of no-nos.
JBL made his name kind of with the Acolytes, APA, and everything, and then you got Booker T with Harlem Heat. They should both be like, wow, we haven't seen a tag team work speed and power, blah, blah, blah. They should just mark out for him, just like...
If anything... Because here's the thing about the Ascension. They haven't showed any heel qualities other than the fact that they're just saying that they're better than the past. They're not cheating. They're not using like outside objects. They're not like ghost tagging or like knocking out the ref. They're not doing any heelish things. They're just getting out there and being brutes. And the heel commentator, who was once part of a heel faction, I guess they got a heel tag team that ended up becoming cool.
Yeah.
Is jealous.
I think that's what the root is. I think he is just...
Well, yeah, in storyline, he's jealous. He's actually extremely jealous.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And if they could harp on, I used to do a better Larry than that. Like, they could play off that rather than, like, these guys are idiots. And then you got Booker T's like, hold on, man. These guys are actually all right. These kids, you got to give these kids a chance.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Just sounds like two old men like arguing. At that point.
But like Booker T should not be the only thing that Booker T should be defending, if there is a thing, is the fact that they haven't shown any heel tendencies. Now, if let's just say there's a part of the match where Connor low blows one of the guys with the ref's not looking.
Yeah. That would have been
Then all of a sudden, what happens? The JBL goes, "That's what I'm talking about, kid." And where does Booker T go? What is what's his name?
Michael Cole?
What does he say? What are they supposed to say?
Yeah.
Are they supposed to like what? As that's not fair.
This match was too quick to get any kind of heel heat on that. It was so quick.
This was not about the Ascension. Again, this is not about the Ascension. This is about the Cody and Goldust developing feud. That's what this is all about. Even Thursday, it was not about the Ascension. They're just kind of like wedges to sort of advance the storyline of the Dust Brothers and how basically they're setting up their match for WrestleMania. Very much like Curtis Axel when he was a Heyman guy, and he was basically a wedge between all of the storylines that was happening when he had the IC belt, And I go like, that's unfair to the Ascension, man. Like,
that's true. Well, I think it's working out. Like one tag team's going down, while one's going up. They cross paths.
If a win ain't shit compared, like just the belt. Like these guys are belt holders, but no one cares. Like if a tree falls in the woods and no one there, does it make a sound? But if the attention's on Goldust and Stardust, and they're developing feud, who's ever helping to advance that feud are nothing more than that catalyst to the feud. The losses are about the Dust Brothers losing more than the Ascension winning.
Yeah.
Which these guys don't stand a chance.
Yeah, I think the only reason they brought them up is because they were down there for so long, and they deserved to go up, but it just didn't work. So like.
And right now their enhancement of they were only brought up to enhance the storyline between Cody and Dustin.
And have a great New Age Outlaws match in 2015.
I don't know if those guys will even make it to Fastlane. Yeah. I don't think these guys will even make it to WrestleMania. Yeah, I don't think they make it to WrestleMania, man.
I mean, I don't mind either way. They're cool. Squash match is always cool, but if they're gone, I probably wouldn't even realize it.
Because right now the Usos are dealing with Cesaro and Kid. The Dust Brothers, they're gonna bust up. The only other tag team that's left, and the Miz now just busted up.
Yeah.
Who do they got to even feud with, even closely? Well, it'd be just a triple threat match at WrestleMania with the Ascension, the Usos, and Kid and Cesaro.
I think,
you see what I'm saying?
The Ascension don't want that because Kid and Cesaro would destroy both those tag teams.
Shut up.
And we have a Cena promo. He pretty much calls out Dolph, Rowan, and Ryback, welcomes them back, and then Steph pops up on the screen and says, like, hold on, guys. Dolph is going to wrestle Bray Wyatt tonight. Roman Reigns is going to wrestle Rusev. And then next, Ryback is going to wrestle Luke Harper. And that's when Luke Harper's music comes out, and that's when we go to a break.
He addresses that he's of the past. The past thing. That is the theme of Cena. and him coming to grips with him aging.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns getting the attention, and he's dealing with a guy that seems that's looking at him as irrelevant. I'm John Cena, man.
Yeah.
I'm not just some dude. I've been the face of this company for the past 10 years, and now I have to prove to you that I'm relevant. Yeah. This is a good storyline because I think it'll probably be the first time. I don't know if you were listening to the thing, but like when he was running down Rusev and Lana, it kind of, they rubbed it off. You remember when Cena was running down Bray Wyatt, how it pissed everyone off?
Oh yeah, with the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, and
Buffett.
You know.
Yeah.
Eddie has these moments where he just runs down people, and he runs down Rusev, and it wasn't the same effect. It was almost like this guy who was trying to present himself as still relevant to people who thought he was just, you know?
Yeah.
That's the storyline that's going on right now.
I like it.
Because he talks about NXT too. He goes, we got all these, Triple H's WWE doesn't involve John Cena. I'm of the past. He has the NXT guys coming up to take my spot. Like, this is the storyline going right now.
Yeah, I'm interested. And then we have Ryback versus Harper. I think Booker T. I prefer Booker T over King at this point. I think Booker T sounds way more like enthused in the product, and I think you could really tell, especially in this match.
Because it was so badass.
It was a good match.
That was one of the best matches. That can be considered a match of the year, honestly. Because it was just fast-paced, and it was funny, too, because he even brought it up. He's like, because I'm sitting here, as the ink is touching my paper, I go, fast-paced power match. Yeah. And then as soon as the ink is not even, as I'm writing, he says that. This is a fast-paced match with a lot of power moves. Yeah. And it hit me. I said, this is Lucha Underground style of a wrestling match.
There was a really nice super kick done in the match, and Ryback ends up taking the victory with the shell shock.
That was a great match, man.
Yeah, it was good. I think this next match was pretty good. I mean, you're probably going to give me shit, but I think...
No, Kid wasn't in it.
Yeah, Jimmy Uso and the Cesaro match was a great match, too. I think the big swing spot was cool. And
it was short.
But he did the big swing, and then he stopped, and then went into the Boston crab right away.
Yeah, half crab.
Oh, that was sick. That was almost as good as what Bryan did in the main event. But uppercut off the top rope, sneak victory. Cesaro wins, beats the one of the Usos.
The last thing,
great match.
The last thing I said is Cesaro win, uppercut, counter splash.
And then,
damn.
And then even though Cesaro still wins, Tyson Kidd just still comes in for the cheap attack on the cheap shot on the back at the end. So kind of like what you said with the Ascension, what you said they were kind of lacking is like, you know, right there, like even though they won, they still like jumped the guy from behind. Like
who? Oh, being that the Usos?
Yeah. Tyson Kidd. There's some involvement with Tyson Kidd on the outside, and the Tyson Kidd was still pissed from that he came in and just attacked him, even though his partner already beat the guy.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Cesaro is that guy that will always get that spot to just make you go damn. You know?
Oh yeah.
That I had never seen that countered like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he goes up, and you're thinking, okay, this is the way it's gonna hit.
Usos got it.
He got right up and fucking just the place went nuts. This guy's a heel. This is another discussion we'll have later. About, I had it with Nick Headliner 5. What up, Nick? The fact that like you got these heels doing these cool moves that you gotta cheer for, and Cesaro's that guy. Like, we don't want him to be a heel, man.
No, he should have been a heel. The swing is
everything about that guy.
The swing could have been like the Sky Too High Worm of 2014. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone could have loved it. Like
that guy,
that mid card spot or the lower card spot. You know,
that guy is just beyond. Everything about him is beyond. You know, you got the high flyers that become baby faces. This is the one guy in a very long time that just his brute strength puts him over as a babyface. You know, like not the fact that he's a world's strongest man or want to be a scrappy fighter like Sheamus, but it's just like he's just a country strong dude who goes in and puts on a show with his ability to just be so to the point. like a Bruce Lee, you know? Bruce Lee wasn't flashy when he fought in his karate matches and shit. He just did swift, quick shit that just would knock someone the fuck off their feet. And Cesaro's the same way. This guy's incredible.
And then we had a little foreshadowing, which I think this was a great segment, like especially for what they're about to do with like Miz and Mizdow in the back. And Mizdow's like kind of preparing Miz's food, which is like a ridiculous thing to think about.
No.
And then someone comes up and is like, "Hey, can I get your autograph?" And Miz like abruptly is like, "Hey, can't you see I'm doing something?" And he's like, "No, actually, I want Mizdow's autograph."
But you see what this guy looked like? He looked like a nerd.
Yeah.
Like a mark, you know?
Like a guy, like at a wrestling show, yeah.
Yeah, like they stop playing on this, dude. I hate that they're doing that. Like WWE is like kind of clowning us, man.
Oh, well, I didn't see it. I would.
He's like, can I get your autograph? Oh, I love Miss Dow. You know, like that's what it is, because that's what it is. That's why he's over.
Yeah, and then Cena and Rowan in the back.
But he fires him as his stunt double.
Okay. Oh, I didn't.
He fires him.
I watched this really, really.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He's like, you're the worst stunt double ever. You're fired. The place erupted. Like, yeah!
Oh, see, I didn't pick up on that. I thought he just missed. I was just like standing at him cold, just like.
No. He was like, I'm fired. The place erupted because it's like finally he's free. But he goes, but you're gonna be my assistant. Boo! It was beautiful, and all I can think about, this guy is like an Alex Riley 2.0.
Oh yeah.
And we're just gonna wait for him to basically, but we'll talk about it later. Sorry.
Yeah, we just had Cena and Rowan in the back. They kind of just talking about how the main events, or what?
Well, what happened between Rowan and Cena? Cena's in the back. He's in his own locker room, and Rowan comes up and he takes his mask off and he actually starts talking like an actual human being, and he goes, "I was an animal. I've been an animal all this long." And I've come to the realization that I need to let that go, kind of a thing. Like, it's like this really solid speech about him always being seen as an animal, and that he said, all my life I've had no one stand up for me, and you were the first person ever to stand up for me, and it's changed me because of that.
Rowan was saying that.
Rowan at Cena, yeah. And this is character development with Rowan, that he's going to basically move away from this sort of weird psychopath animal kind of setting, and he's going to be actually his character transition into an actual person that Cena helped him by. No one's ever stood up for me before, and because of that I'm gracious. It was like this really serious conversation.
Yeah.
Like,
that's cool.
Kind of tearjerker a little bit,
Yeah.
And so this whole thing is like gimmick change. Like, gimmick change, that's what I wrote down with a question mark.
Yeah, like more serious. I mean, good.
Because he's not getting over as Rowan, ex-Wyatt family guy. He's just not. It's crickets.
Yeah, I mean, the sheep mask kind of doesn't fit anymore. He's like, I don't know. I always picked up on the sheep mask as being like ironic. Like he's saying like how many people are sheep, in the crowd. Mm-hmm. But if he's a face, the sheep thing is kind of just like, it doesn't really fit with the whole. That's what I always picked up on. And then speaking of the ex-Bray Wyatt family guy, Bray and Ziggler, this was another great match. 3 great matches in a row, which is rare.
Wicked match.
Yeah, Ziggler's drop kicks were almost over Bray's head. They were almost too high, which is awesome. Yeah, it's like
he took a fucking hell of a beating, and that's the thing about working with Bray Wyatt. I mean, I think Sheamus is stiff. Cesaro's very stiff, just a brute.
Yeah.
Mark Henry stiff, but the stiff of all stiffs is a fucking Bray Wyatt match, man. Like, he will hurt you, and Dolph took one beating. I mean, like, that was a beating that he took in that match. As a baby, how the babyface gets his ass toe up.
And then, you kind of.
But like, this wasn't like a babyface ass. This was like sheer not sheer dominance.
It was back and forth.
Yeah, it was very back and forth. That's what I'm saying. And every time it looked like he would catch momentum, he would just knock his ass
I think Bray was a little like excited. Like for the past few weeks, like Bray's kind of like watching his matches. There's been like something missing. I think like he got some kind of news that like we're all go for some kind of thing, maybe a Mania plan.
But Taker.
Yeah. So I think he's just like he you can just tell he cares a little bit more.
Like his package from Thursday. One of the things, and it's context clues.
Yeah.
I fear nothing, living or dead.
Yeah.
Boom. That's the first hit. And even in this, the one that he just gave, I guess later on, he basically find me, like he's talking about the Undertaker,
Yeah.
and it's like if you are on the roster, right? You Bray Wyatt's age, you know who the fuck the Undertaker is. You are a fan for the Undertaker, and you go into his story is very interesting. You need to listen to his interview with Stone Cold.
Yeah, I should.
He's gone from almost, because he wore a mask even at one time. He went from just kind of to obscurity, and he didn't I think he didn't really want to play. He didn't really want to wrestle. I think he wanted to play football. And then he ended up sort of going along with the program with becoming a wrestler and just being in obscurity to like having a chance to fight
The
Taker.
Yeah.
You damn right you're gonna step up your game.
That's true. Very true. He ends up winning with the Sister Abigail.
Ah, sick one.
Yeah, it was. That whole match was good. Every now and most of the time, some Raw matches you'll get a bad one, but I really think like they were all good this week. The ones that were bad were real short. Like the Ascension wasn't that really that highlighting that much. But
I liked it because Goldust was in there for the most part.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's true. But
you have your kid. I have more Goldust. Okay.
I can't believe they haven't feud yet. They're bouncing around kind of in the undercard of the tag division. We need to see these guys.
He's going to have to get it in before he leaves because this is it. After this,
Goldust is retiring.
After this, and it's funny because he's like better than he was 25 years ago. After this thing with Cody, and this is something he's been actually been campaigning for like 5 years.
I mean, like just like we were talking about Baron before the podcast. We were talking about like maybe ideas of like Undertaker passing the torch and stuff. And I guess this is exactly what we saw. Like Goldust giving the gimmick, Dustin Rhodes giving the gimmick to Cody Rhodes, and then kind of stepping back. Like
maybe, but I don't know because even that. Because when they were talking backstage, he's like Stardust. He calls him Cody.
Oh really?
Yeah, he calls him Cody, and he comes back. He goes, "Don't you ever call me Cody again," and he walks off. So the thing about, and we'll move forward. I apologize, but to sum it up, Cody Rhodes, he takes pride in his method acting. He went to school to be an actor, like a method sort of theater actor. That's something that he actually prides himself in. And Goldust, he's kind of losing. The storyline is that he's losing himself in the character. He's losing himself.
Yeah.
And Goldust is basically breaking kayfabe out of this. It's like, I want my brother back, and I think that's going to be the confrontation. He's losing his brother to something, to the darkness of we're just performers, bro. Like, don't take this so seriously, man. Whatever, man. This is serious, man.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, he's Mark. He's a mark for himself. He's too much of a mark for himself. And so that's the storyline. But
and then we have Miz and Sin Cara. With the whole storyline with Mizdow not, just kind of.
Oh, you skip the these Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Rollins backstage, and Rollins was talking about like, oh, that was so cool how you did this and that to Roman Reigns, but what's the deal with this fucking match between me and Bryan? Like, basically, like, what's this? He's becoming Randy Orton.
Ah, yeah.
And he's not happy. And I think either way, it was just this segment addressing how what do I want to say? It's them addressing how Rollins feels that everything has to be handed to him, and he's coming off as another Randy Orton. And it seems like this is just Randy Orton all over again. And then Paige versus Alicia Fox. With the Bellas on commentary.
Wow, I completely.
And the significance of this match isn't even the match itself.
Oh, they talked about this on
Sky Sports goes out.
Oh, really?
Goes out for like. I mean, if you're watching USA, I guess you're fine. Or maybe it happened on USA, but the Sky Sports feed that I got went out for about 3 minutes.
I'm surprised you're not talking about the Bella commentary, because they played a little segment of it during the match on this podcast I do listen to, and it was pretty good. Like, that's the best talking I've ever heard them do, which is still not good, but it's, you know, how like you said, they're kind of showing improvement. They were kind of going back and forth with JBL, which JBL is like kind of overshadows some people sometimes with how good he can talk. So the fact that they were going back and forth with him a little bit.
So basically, what you said is that they were holding their ground against him.
They were holding their ground. Yeah,
it was
exactly.
pretty impressive.
Yeah, they were sitting there saying like, you know, like all these girls, pretty much saying like all we have the AJ Lees, we got the Emmas, we got the Paiges, we got the Natties, all saying that they're not the traditional divas. So now the traditional divas, the Bellas, are now the outcasts. So now like they're like what they hate, pretty much.
You know what? I did catch that part.
Yeah, which I think whoever came up with that kind of aspect for them to do is good, because I never even thought about that. It's like you have so many girls saying that they want to be the anti-diva, and then these Bella Twins are these divas that we see
cookie cutter.
Yeah. But now the cookie cutter
is actually the anti-diva.
Yeah.
It's almost like at one point where everyone, like only a certain amount of population had tattoos, and they were the different ones.
Yeah.
It's straight up. It's Dr. Seuss. It's Dr. Seuss.
I want to be different like all my friends.
Like it's Dr. Seuss. What was it? The heart. It was like this two people. If you had a heart, you were considered higher.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have a heart, you considered lower. So this con man comes to the town. This what do you call it? Sidewinder? What do you call those guys? The people who come into town selling stuff. But he's like a crook.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Catcher in the Rye, like that guy. And the guy comes to town. He's like, well, I could draw a star on you. I could draw a star on you, so you could be like everyone else.
Yeah.
So everyone ended up getting stars. The people who originally had the stars, like, I don't like this. I don't want a star. Everyone has a star. That same Sidewinder said, I could paint the star off you, so you could be different. So basically, it ended up switching roles.
Yeah.
Like before, it's almost as if the people who didn't have a star were good.
Yeah.
Already. So so that's what's happening with. I was having that discussion with Headliner 9. What up, Nate? About that, about even Paige and the fact that she's her transition of being the anti-diva into a total diva, and like all of these divas. Basically what you said and what the Bella is speaking on is like, well, we're special we're anti-divas as traditionalists.
Yeah.
But a lot of that commentary got cut out because the Sky.
Well, yeah. See, I missed it on my feed, but then when I was earlier today, I was listening to another podcast and they just played like the beginning. They played like a little excerpt from it, and I was kind of impressed. That's the first time I've ever been impressed by the divas or the Bella Twins.
And Paige wins, but I'm not sure how she wins. I didn't even write down how she because I didn't care.
I actually missed this match.
I think the feed was out by the time she had won.
Oh.
But and then the Bellas came into the ring and hit on some heel shit and sprayed her with
some hairspray.
Tanning.
Oh, nice. I love that's my new foreign objects are awesome. It seems to come like the divas are bringing it out with like the hairspray and like the girly kind of products and shit, which is lethal as fuck, man. They got the burn. I want to see someone get burned with a curling iron right to the back of the.
Oh no! Got hit with a tampon. She stuffed a tampon down her throat. Oh, the humanity. Yeah.
And then we have Miz now Miz and Sin Cara. That's okay. And this was kind of cool. Like Miz Dow is staring at him real cold, mean mugging the whole time. Miz is kind of distracted. Miz is just trying to get the crowd to cheer for him, and obviously they're just booing him.
They want Miz Dow to actually perform.
Yeah, but he's not doing it because he's a little.
He's told not to. He said, "You're not my stunt double anymore. Don't do that no more."
Yeah, and then so he was kind of like a little upset. You kind of saw him, and then it led to after like one time Miz like went put his arms out, everyone booed, and then like everyone was kind of waiting. Miz out jumps on the apron, does a big pop, distraction roll up. Sin Cara gets a win.
Distraction
on Raw.
roll up.
And then
the Bray Wyatt package.
The Bray Wyatt promo, which is the
I don't fear the first one. It's almost like write it down. I don't fear no man living. I don't fear anyone living or dead. This one, I am the new face of fear. That's
New Face of Fear.
New Face of Fear. It's like, I know you hear me. Find me. Pretty awesome. I mean, we all got, like, the crowd popped.
I know he hadn't gone anywhere, but he is back, I think. Like, this Raw... Well, I'm going to continue to Mania, but if he keeps doing these promos, and then you have those Undertaker promos and stuff, this is probably going to be the match.
We won it as fans, almost. I mean, like, people are talking about how they don't want Taker to wrestle anymore. But I'm like, well, I think it would be pretty exciting to watch those two dynamics, because that's one of the first things I thought of when Bray Wyatt came into the fray. The fact that, oh man, you got this dark guy and this dark guy.
Yeah.
And let's see what actually turns out.
His first, I think his second feud. The first was Archer. The second was Kane, though. So that's cool.
I wonder, does he go through Kane?
Well, they'd already done that. They'd have to like make Kane dark again to kind of.
Wait a minute, they had a feud?
Yeah, Kane and Bray. That was Bray's like first feud was against Kane.
The fire match.
Was it? I don't.
This was at over the. Was it over the limit?
Did they have an Inferno match?
Yeah, it was an Inferno match. I think it was at Money in the Bank or
first
over the limit.
Inferno match ever in the Greensboro Coliseum.
And I remember that. Oh man, I forgot about that. But like, what me and Nate were talking about this feud is like, if they do it right, they have to do it right, because we don't want some corny dark versus dark. Who's darker is better?
Yeah, we won't like just. We already understand the two characters. We just want.
Where's the fighting spirit between the two? You
would say one guy is trying to prove himself that he is on the top, and the other guy is trying to prove himself that he's still on the top after the loss. I think, and I think you, even though it's better to go out on your back, I do think that Undertaker's got to win to get, I guess, like some kind of steam back in the
Well, this is more about Bray Wyatt, I think.
Yeah, because
here's the thing.
Bray needs to win.
Because here's the thing about Bray. This will be the first of all of his feuds where we will actually know why he's fighting. This will be the first real character development of this character wanting to be the face of fear. Like, that's what he wants. He doesn't want no fucking belt. He doesn't want this or that. He wants to be the one that everyone stops when he's in the room. And there's only one other person that has that, and that's the Undertaker. And we're going to see development in this storyline for him to get to Undertaker. You're going to see this storyline shape up better than any other feud that he's ever been in. And that's what we're excited for.
That's what I hope we're right. And then we moved on to Rusev and Roman.
The crowd popped so much when he said, "Find me." He said, "Find me." Because we knew what was up. We knew exactly what's up, Oh, yeah, whatever.
And then we had Rusev versus Rowan. It's pretty much a Rowan beatdown.
Chump!
Yeah, I was kind of shocked by that, but
I wasn't at all.
It was meant to make Rusev look strong against Cena, and then the flag doesn't fall.
Well, yeah, it was also made to make, because that's one step for Rowan's new character development. There's another, the weak babyface, like the sympathy babyface.
Yeah.
Because he's not being buried, man, like at all, or being put down. There's a whole new program with Rowan, and I think this is just a step in that direction of him confessing to Cena how he was the first person. He goes out. He's not given a chance to fight, and he's being bullied basically bullied, and the guy, where the fuck is Knox? What's the name of that ref? Rick Knox?
Oh, from PWG?
He needs to be a fucking referee, because hearing that fucking wimp ass, chump ass referee.
Come on, man.
You're not. That was pathetic to me.
These new refs they got, there's a few that I've been seeing recently that are real. They're overacting. I don't know what they gotta do.
They need Rick Knox for that shit. Like whenever they get, because
he's the ref in Lucha Underground too.
Yeah, yes, he is the main ref in Lucha Underground,
yes.
And because he was a former wrestler, and he's a big guy. Like he's as big as Luke Harper, you know, like he's a big man. And see, take that dynamic, and they just had this wussy ass referee. Like even Nick Patrick would actually pry guys off when that shit would go down.
There's supposed to be a sense of authority,
yes.
not like a nerd, like hey guys, come on.
And it was uneasy too. It was like uncomfortable watching it.
Yeah, I didn't get uncomfortable. I was just like, this guy needs to get off my TV. Like,
if he would have at least tried to pry, it would have gave something to that spot right there.
He's like, come on.
Get off of me.
You could see it was just like motions. You see he was like counting, like doing exactly what he was supposed to do. Like it was like he'd watched, you know, like
he was getting frustrated too. He's like, just stop. Like it was like, no, dude, stop him.
Yeah.
Do something. Be a man.
Call some backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe get the bell. Get the bell guy.
Be a man. Be a man, Hulk. But the flag botch. They do an awesome package for Rusev too. He goes like, because it's Oscar season, and here's a video. It was a good fucking.
Yeah, I like how like Rusev was just so pissed that like the flag fell. He was just like, he just had to go get the other Russian flag.
They played it because it was an actual botch.
Yeah, it seemed and
it was like the crowd popped like it was like and they played it like what the fuck is this?
And then the announcers played it up smart, like this must have been what Cena did. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of corny.
Well,
I didn't agree with that, but I thought, because this could have been like freeze up moment, like, oh, what do we do? This wasn't.
They went into it great, yeah.
They went into it really good.
And then
whoever got fired, either got fired or got a raise.
Nah, he got fired. Your job is to put up the flag, and you could put up the flag. I mean, you're done.
That was a great moment, though.
You're done.
That was gold.
Wish you the best on your flag endeavors.
Future endeavored. You're gonna work for the. Who else does flags? Well, you hope you get to the Olympics or something. Sure.
Maybe go to the Myrtle Beach. I think they got a few flag stores down there. Like,
there should be a story about that guy.
That guy just like
the life after his firing for botching the flag spot.
Just show up like stocking on the grocery store shelf, just like
it's like it's like if you have cable and not DirecTV, you get angry, and when you get angry, you do this. You do this, and then when this happens, you do this. So, and then the next thing, you're selling your hair, but I feel like they could do that with that guy.
When you make a flag, you get signed with
like, don't be that, like, don't botch your flag spot. Like, don't be that guy who botched the flag. Get DirecTV. So, yeah, Bray.
No, yeah, we went through that.
Bray, no, well, what? Why? Bray and Roman in the locker room. No, that's not.
Was it?
Oh, no. I think it was Brian. That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah, Brian and Roman in the locker room.
And he's being a snarky piece of shit.
Who?
Brian.
I don't.
Because he's like
dialogue.
He's like, yeah, because he's like, hey man, like, how's it going?
Oh yeah.
Like, so you guys, he's like, basically like, it's kind of cool that you agreed to put your Rumble spot, because it should be me, and when I beat Rollins, I'm gonna beat you at Fastlane. Like, just being like just poking him, like, like, I don't like that, because what's happening now is that they're not they would turn Bryan heel before they turn Reigns heel.
That's true.
Totally, and Reigns will play a better bad guy.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of people. Well, Bryan did play a good heel his first championship run. A lot of people forget about before him and Kane had the titles when he was on SmackDown. That was a great heel run. So good that people started cheering for him. But yeah.
Shut up, AJ.
Yeah. But now I think I really did. Bryan's pretty much a lifelong face at this point.
They're gonna turn him into this entitled guy. They're gonna use the fanship pushing him to the top against us.
Well, that's.
And they're going to turn him into an entitled prick. He's going to be even more entitled and snarky than Rollins.
I'm not disagreeing with
going up against Reigns.
It hurts to hear that, but I can see them doing that.
Mm-hmm. The way because he's all like, "Hi, Roman." Like it wasn't like he was like, "Hey, man." It was like
leveling with him. It
was just like it was almost like poking him.
But then,
hey, how's it going? I'm going to beat you at Fastlane, you know. Because I'm supposed to be in the, and then he's gonna be like, I can just see it developing, man. Of he's gonna be so full of himself, and that the people are behind him, so full of the people doing this stuff, that he's gonna be like, I feel like the crowd's gonna turn on him at some point. Like,
no, I don't.
I see it, dude.
He's too good. He's too good. He's too good in the ring.
He's gonna talk down to the people. It's like,
he's what
you are supposed to be working for me.
Maybe eventually, but I think that's definitely after Mania.
Do you think I need you? I needed you then, and you failed. You know, whatever.
And then the main event, right at the beginning of the match, there was a great spot where it was like he had him like a pedigree, put him in the power bomb, and then right as he's falling, he throws him in the arm lock. Did you see that?
Arm bar.
Yeah, but like he had him in like a pedigree motion with his arms like tied up behind him, puts him in like a power bomb, and then as he's falling, he throws his legs on top of him into the
into the arm bar. That was fucking beautiful. And like that's what the internet blew up. Twitter blew up.
Oh,
arm bar was all over Twitter.
Was so sick. That
and
was
even
so sick.
and even what you call it? I think even Booker T. Oh no, Booker T doesn't. That's JBL's spot. Whenever someone does something, he, like when a spine buster is done, he always brings up the.
That's like
what's the cop, the Bad Road cop, Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be like, or if someone does a Luthez press, he always say like Stone Cold, or this one he's like somewhere Jericho smiling, you know, like I think he gets like
And then Big Show comes out, and then J&J Security, of course, are out there, and then Roman kind of just comes out, doesn't want the match to end something like that, pretty much. Comes out, attacks J&J Security, pretty much.
Who Reigns?
Yeah.
First he hits Big Show with like this so animated spear.
Well, I mean, you're coming down that ramp, I guess. You're getting.
But the way that it was even sold, like. Big Show just like gets destroyed. Like he jumps and he sells that shit like a nuclear bomb. You know? It was beautiful because it was so over the top. Because he jumped, because he spears him as he's coming down.
He laid out Mercury, or was it Mercury? He laid out one of Mercury.
He laid out
I think Mercury.
Mercury,
right?
yes. Yeah. He laid Mercury the fuck out.
Yeah, that was. He was Michael Cole didn't know what to do. He was like, "Oh, J&J."
Yeah,
he didn't know what to say.
Yeah. And whatchamacallit was on the apron. And,
then he threw him. He was trying to give him the briefcase, and that's when Roman came with the knockout punch to have Bryan win. Oh no, Bryan came in with the wild knee after that, and then Bryan and Reigns at the pay-per-view. What do you think of that main event? I mean, we kind of already talked about it a little bit.
What Bryan and I think they're gonna turn. In the end, I think they're going to turn Bryan into a snarkling heel. Because what's happening now, this is the dirt sheet. This is the Dave Meltzer talk.
Yeah.
He's always on it, dude. He's always on it. If it comes out through, what's the name of that? The Wrestling
Observer. If
it's coming out on Wrestling Observer, just go with it.
Well, he created the dirt sheet. Like Wrestling Observer has been around.
Yeah, I'm just saying. If he puts it out there to happen,
I'm not sure if he created it. Well,
he's on it 100%.
Yeah.
And right now, they're discussing Bryan versus Ziggler for WrestleMania. That's the talk right now. That is the news. That's the Wrestling Observer. Bryan versus Ziggler. And the talk between Bryan and Ziggler is that fact that, yeah, we're going to take this spot and we're going to try to steal the show. Right?
And they probably will. A
great point that Wade Keller brought up. He's like, but I don't give a fuck about you stealing the show. As a fighter, I don't want to hear about you stealing the show. As a fighter, I want to hear about how you want to win.
Well, is that what they're?
Which makes so much sense to me.
In storyline, they're going to say they're going to steal the show.
Well, this is kayfabe. Like, we're going to steal the show. This is, and it's like, no, dude. Like, we understand this is all backstage.
But don't put it in my face.
No, insiders. No, not that. It's just that your fighting spirit isn't existing in this kind of dialogue about your match. It's like two boxers. Would you expect two like?
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I get
UFC guys going as well because Anderson Silva and this person's going to fight. Everyone's going to pay attention to them, but they're going to pay attention to us because we're going to put on a great performance. It's like, no, I don't give a fuck about performing in front of you. I'm trying to knock this motherfucker out and go home with a win, right? And that's the thing about Bryan, and I think that's the attitude that they're going to put on him as this guy who feels that at every moment that he needs to be entitled to be in a spot because all the people want me there.
I can see them doing that, but I just hate it so much I can't. I don't want to think about it,
And I feel like very much like when Cena goes up against CM Punk, he stepped his game up in those matches, like a lot.
Yeah.
And very much like Bray's opportunity to get at Undertaker, he's stepping his game up. I feel like Reigns, his pedigree is going to kick in into overdrive.
Let's hope.
And we're gonna get a good match. How about you?
I think it's gonna be a good match. I just think it's silly to do face versus face right before Mania. I think they need to start developing these feuds. Like start having
He will not be face. I'm telling you, he will not be face by the time Fastlane rolls around. It's just not gonna happen. Well,
that's too much of a turn.
They would cheer him as a cool heel.
Well, yeah.
But he's not gonna be the favorite in there.
If they make him the cool heel, I think that's even worse for Reigns than before.
He's too much of a nerd to be a cool heel. That's the thing.
Yeah, he can't. He's not like the sunglasses kind of limousine guy. Yeah.
He's not the cool kid in the room.
That's why I don't.
He ain't Randy Orton.
That's why I don't like.
The only way they could make him heel is to turn him into a brat.
A brat that can work though. He's in the ring. He can't be like a Miz brat. He's got to be like a Flair kind of, not like the flashy Flair, but like how Flair talked shit but could back it up.
The first title reign that he got, that guy, brat, asshole that could work his ass off. If he just goes back to Bryan of 3 years ago when he first had the belt, yeah, we got ourselves. There's a possibility, but and that's what it was. He was the reluctant heel turned babyface. When he went into WrestleMania to face Sheamus, he was a heel. And like all of a sudden those guys in Miami were just like, basically you're parts of an unknown guy.
Yeah, because they were they're expecting a great match, and then it's just one brogue kick, and people were pissed. Because Sheamus is not over. Sheamus is boring. Like even people that were supposed to like
that yes chant not created at WrestleMania, that Miami, because that's what it started. You just seen him come down, and all of a sudden, the entire crowd is going yes. And I think there's even a point in that match where he kind of stops and looks at everybody like, what the fuck is going on here? Almost like when Hulk Hogan came out in WrestleMania 18 against The Rock. Oh no, The Rock comes out against Hogan, and he's being booed. He's like, you can see that he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I just rewatched that Mania, by the way.
You can watch it a million times.
Yeah, it's great.
But I think
they also have. It's a really good Scott Hall and Stone Cold match. It's like overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna say that's a better match, but it's a good 1-2 punch. Like if you're on the network, stop at that match before you watch the Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock Hogan match.
And it's not even great wrestling in that Hogan match. It's just such a great story going on.
You could have put the Lesnar Goldberg match of 21, I think, in front of that crowd if they were that. You could put any match in front of that crowd if they were that hot and nothing.
They were really hot for Hogan. They were hot. Oh boy, what we got here? We're at one. We're at an hour and 30. I think that's great, man.
Perfect, yeah.
And hopefully, I guess next week, if we listen to the podcast, the Stone Cold Triple H, we'll talk about that and stuff. That'll be something we'll kickstart the podcast with, right? He's texting right now.
What?
He's not even texting. He's like Facebook messaging.
No, I'm texting.
Don't insult me with your Facebook Messenger. At least text a motherfucker.
I don't even know where to go from this. You should just hit me up on Twitter at JG Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. I'm trying to build the website, man. The GoDaddy froze up on me.
Hey, fuck him.
Fuck him. It froze up. I'm sitting here trying to put together the Peter Jake Talks Wrestling Central website. So, see, you hear that shit? This is what I have to deal with. So yeah, we end it with that. Yep.
Later.
You have been listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast. Please tune in next week.